Hi everyone, Amy here. Quick video on goal setting, I guess, would be the overall topic of this one. I was thinking about it the other day, and a few people have said, you know, it's great what you're doing with my Wi-Fi life, and that takes a lot of guts, and that's really good. And I have to say, that makes me feel a little bit like people don't seem to realise that they could do it too. And I guess it's just a case of, I went through something last year that made me realise that there's no time like the present, life is short and all the rest of it, and it wasn't a particularly nice experience. But I have to say, prior to that even being the case, I had always felt that traditional, conventional life of working a job 70 hours a week, or maybe more for some people, it never really sat well with me. Maybe that's what gave me the travel bug, and I spent the majority of my 20s living overseas, and I was at one point considering staying overseas and living overseas, and I was loving life, and it is an amazing lifestyle, and your 20s is a great time to do it. And that's when actually the seeds started to sow in my head of how could I maintain this lifestyle if I wanted to longer term. There must be a way, there must be a way. And I used to joke about it, finding an opportunity that I could operate from my laptop in order to live wherever I wanted to, see all the friends that I've made around the world, still be able to come home and see my family whenever I wanted to, and have a somewhat stable, normal life, earning an income. And so now I found it. And it's funny, I think that's all down to the fact that when you decide that you're going to do something, you will find the opportunity. So it's interesting, because I don't think it's actually about that, because you will always find a way if your why is strong enough. And my why had always been there, I just never had enough of a kick up the bum to do it and to start it. So I think for some people it's, you know, I want to spend more time with my children, I work so many hours, I never see them, they're still in bed when I go to work, they're back in bed when I come home. I've got a lot of friends going through that at the moment. I've got several girlfriends who've had babies and dreaded going back to work. I've got some friends who are still working on the boats and on the ships that I used to work on, and although they have a great lifestyle, when they have 2 months off, they've spent all their money and they have to go back. So to an extent, I guess they're trapped into that, so it's certainly not perfect. And then you just got the bog standard reasons. I'm exhausted at work, or I don't get enough holiday to go on trips away, or, you know, there's any number of reasons, but people are so locked into this conventional mindset that that's what you have to do. You have to have a job, you have to have a pension, and really that's laughable when you read up on statistics of pensions and what people are having to live on when they stop working. And I think you go back again to your why. What is your why? And if your job was taken away from you tomorrow, would that why be possible? And if you could find another way of supporting yourself, would your boxes be ticked in terms of your why? And actually that's what started making me think. I've always got a bit of a 2-year itch when it's come to jobs that I've had. I need a new challenge, or just need a new environment. And I think for me, part of that is the fact that there is no job that is ever going to tick the boxes of what I want out of life. And it's only in the last 6 to 12 months that things came about that kicked me up the bum and made me think, well, actually, if you're not going to do it now, when are you going to do it? So think about your whys, think about what you want out of your life, and think about when you actually intend to take steps or action to making those things happen. Because the definition of insanity, according to, I can't remember who it was, but that famous quote of doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results really is the definition of insanity, and it's true. And the big thing at the moment for me is what I'm setting up here, and anyone who's started in online marketing or setting up an online business will tell you, it's hard work, and you might spend long periods with no results, and your why is what is going to get you through. You know, it might be cheesy to talk about vision boards and having your dreams painted in pictures on your wall, but that is what is going to take you through the hardest times of, you know, hitting brick walls with no explanation, exhaustion and all the rest of it. So I'm digressing a little bit, but take your whys, take what's important to you in life, and then just think, is there any job, whether it be the job you have now, the job you have next, or perhaps 3 people above you that you aspire to get to, even then, are you going to be able to tick those boxes? For me, the big one that I just can't see how anyone can justify is time and freedom. You know, is there any job really where you're on somebody else's clock and somebody else's rules where you can just take off and do what you want and still be earning money? I just don't see that being possible now, and I guess I'm that far down the track of that mindset that it's very difficult to think otherwise. So that's what I would say is don't think about the first thing being what system you're going to use, because there are so many out there, and once you start looking, some will be laughable to you and some will really resonate with you, and you just have to go with the one that's right for you. But the first step really is deciding what do I want and what is my why, because that is a far more important anchor in terms of making it happen. At least I'm finding so far. So a little bit of food for thought over the weekend. Any questions, or you want to debate the issue, I'd love to do so with you, and I'll share my why and you can tell me your whys, and we can really decide and put the world to right as to whether or not your job's going to get you there. Because personally for me, I don't hate my job. I like the people I work with. I work for a company that really looks after us, but at the end of the day, it's not going to tick my boxes longer term for what I've decided I want out of my life and the lifestyle I want to live. So simple really. Go away and think about your whys and come back to me if you think your job's not going to get you there, and I'd love to help you. Take care.